Leia Healthcare. It's good to live. Proud sponsor of the Real Health podcast with Carl Henry.
Hello and welcome to the Real Health podcast with me, Carl Henry, in association with Leia Healthcare. On this week's show, folks, with Black Friday and Christmas present buying reaching fever pitch, I thought, why not check out the top health and fitness presents you can buy for people this year. We've two brilliant friends, I'm glad to say, and two fantastic personal trainers in studio. We've got Paul Moran of BodyRock Performance and John Belton from Number 17 Personal Training. Paul and John, welcome to the Real Health podcast.
Thank you very much.
I've been trying to get both you guys in here for a long time, and we've been trying to catch up for coffee for a long time, and neither have happened. So now we finally have you in studio, which is brilliant. How's it going?
Good.
Yeah, all good?
Very.
You got some really good presents lined up?
Somewhat.
Somewhat. Oh, good God.
John's than mine.
It's like the Christmas toy show for fitness people, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always a big app. We did it last year for the first time, and it was really popular because of the fact that people are looking for different presents to buy people, and fitness and health is massive in fashion. So why not pick up some presents? John, I'm gonna ask you guys basically for two each. Every time I come to you, I'll ask you for two. So John, we'll kick off for yourself. Give me two to start get the ball rolling.
So I think a lot of people want to get presents like a new pair of runners, or something that'll help people train harder. My view is a lot of people are overtraining, pushing quite hard. Mm-hmm. So it's good to get something outside the box, a bit more restorative. I encourage a lot of my athletes to go for meditation. So there's meditation classes you can do all around the city. Atelier Mesa do great ones with a guy called Connor Cretan, and it's different series of short meditations to learn how to calm the mind down and optimize your recovery. Because as we all know, once you're recovering, you can only push harder with your training. If you're not getting in there with the recovery, nothing good's going to happen. Another simple little piece to add to that, the kind of mindset piece, would be a session with a sports psychologist. We all have that little voice that comes into our head at the 20k mark or the 5k mark or the 4.5k mark, and learning to overcome that and learning to kind of deal with that fella is one of the best tools you can get for yourself. And like anything, like an injury, you take a physio, so why not talk to a sports psychologist to get some support around that sort of stuff? They would be my first two things I would recommend.
Really nice openers, really quirky. Meditation is big in fashion, and it's incredibly powerful, and people don't do enough of it. So if you know someone in your life who's a little bit highly strung, could do with some downtime, that's a really good way to learn tools that they can keep going all year long. And the sports psychology, brilliant, again, for the same reason. It's a lot of it's in your head. I mean, you're starting at training or at the advanced stage. Sports psychology is a really simple way to learn tools to push
just
through the walls.
Extra percentage or two. A lot of people think their mind's too busy for meditation, and generally, if your mind's too busy for meditation, you need meditation.
But I'm always fascinated with people who meditate on Instagram, and they put up pictures of themselves meditating with their phone in the room, and you're like, that just goes against the whole process of what you're trying to do. Paul, give us two.
All right, I like John's, but my first one is going to be a focus planner or a training journal. Simple ones. I use them quite a lot for planning out for business and for training as well. Something that you can just go handwritten, so your 30 days, your 60 days, or your 90-day plans. Also in my journals I try and put in backup plans, so you can't make it to the gym. What's my backup plan? Good. It's always good to track reps, sets, weights to see where you're starting and also how far you've come. Same for running as well, what you started at and how far you've progressed as well. Okay. That is my number one.
Yeah.
Number two, it's a little bit strange. People are big into tracking different types of health markers and data these days. Maybe tracking your sleep, calories, or your steps. One that I want to really push is a blood pressure monitor. I picked up a really cool one, a Nokia one, and it links to an app on my phone as well. So it's a really big one with a lot of our clients as well that we train these days. A lot of people can be walking around with grade 2 hypertension unbeknown to them, and if they understand their readings, they can dictate their training around that as well. So it's a huge one for me. And
of course, once it syncs with an app on your phone, it's wireless or it's Bluetooth or whatever. So there's no wires, and the app will tell you if the reading's off or if the reading's not right, or if you need to go to your GP or whatever. Maybe the app gives you all kind of the content and the info that you need.
It just takes 60 seconds first thing in the morning, and it's a great indicator of where you're at.
The planning one, it ties in with the podcast, something we talk about all the time, which is planning in terms of goals, in terms of for work or for business or whatever. I really like the idea of trying to get people to plan for the bad days.
Yeah, once you've got a backup plan, it's hard to fail.
I like it. Very cool. Okay, John, back to you. Give us your next two.
So sticking with the kind of restorative and health piece, as Paul said, everyone does want to track now. So in the world of HRV, I've been using a Whoop for a while, the Whoop band that looks kind of like a bracelet that you'd wear if you were in custody, but it's brilliant for tracking sleep, for overall stress.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of tracking steps personally, because I just find I wear a couple of different devices and everything gives me different readings.
Yeah.
It is a great base for someone to get started. This gives a little bit more detail. It's done on a subscription basis, so it's easier to buy but can get expensive after a while, but can give you good insight into how well you're sleeping truly, how good your kind of overall recovery is, and gives you, your training readiness. I feel like out of all the bands I've worn, it's probably the most accurate for HRV.
Okay.
Then coming into a Garmin, my preference when it comes to actually tracking your distance, tracking your kind of actual training loads, looking at what you're doing from a endurance point of view.
And when you say HRV, give us a.
So, to very quickly describe HRV, heart rate variability is essentially measured. It's the rhythm between heartbeats, and if there's discrepancies and imbalances there, the more stressed your body is, the more that will kind of differ. So when your heart rate variability tends to drop or come down, it will be a sign that you need to step back on your training load. You need to give it about 28 days to really start tracking you and making sure that it's kind of accurate before you can be guided by it.
It gets to know you a little bit in terms of your rhythms and whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another simple one from a recovery point of view is just to get your bloods taken. And a lot of people go to the doctor to get an overall blood count and they don't look at it, but start investing in that and kind of use your bloods as like a passport for your health instead of something that you go in and you look at your norms or your inside a norm on as far as a medical reading goes. But the norms are based on general population, and if you're training a lot, you need to track your norms and see what's normal for you versus what's normal for general population. So sometimes it's good. I mean, you can get out to Santry and get your bloods done. There's different projects happening in UCD and Trinity at different times as well. It can be a really beneficial thing to have kind of for your long-term training and looking at where that is.
The bloods, that's a really interesting one. I get mine done probably every 6 months. It's around that, maybe 6 to 7 months thereabouts. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
And when I was a vegetarian, when I was doing Ironmans, and it was even more fascinating because they were way off. My B12 levels were nowhere near where they should be. And only by getting the bloods measured, did we realise why my training was suffering. So getting the bloods is a really good
simple
one.
one.
Yeah.
Just a quick one, John, about the bands. What's it like for tracking sleep? If there's someone else in the bed, does it pick up on their movements?
It actually, the Whoop band asks you every morning, do you wake feeling refreshed? Do you wake feeling sore? Are you stressed? Are you sick? And then the last question is, did you share the bed with somebody else?
No.
So it wouldn't be a great reminder for somebody who isn't sharing the bed with someone else? No, it didn't. God damn you.
Or do you have kids?
Do you have kids? Exactly. Are they on top of you as you're trying to sleep? So it's, I think, pretty accurate when I look at when I actually go to sleep and when I wake. It tracks it pretty accurately versus the Fitbit and the Garmin tend to give me definitely readings that don't match up with when I went to bed, for example. The Fitbit, when I altered the settings for sleep, there's like a sense of sleep setting or a regular one. As soon as I changed to regular sleep settings, my sleep score improved dramatically.
Okay.
But I feel like this is probably more accurate to where I am and backs up when how I actually feel with my own training.
And is the subscription for Whoop expensive?
I think it's $29 per month, so it is, and I think there's a minimum 6 month commitment to it. Okay. I won't continue with it after 6 months because I don't feel I need it anymore, and I have 2 watches on. I look a bit silly.
It's got a cool look. You're balancing it out.
It balances me out, but I do feel it's good. Like if I want to recommend something or talk about it or understand it, then I'm going to practice it myself.
Try it,
first.
of course. That's the golden rule of what we do.
Exactly.
Okay, Paul, over to you. You're next too.
All right, back to me, and I'm going to tie it back into sleep as well. The AirPods, where I use them, obviously most people are going to use them for training, but where I like to use them is actually at night time. So I'll use one, just plug one into my ear at night. So I'll switch on my podcasts, apps, lectures, something just to cool down my brain and to take my mind off whatever was happening that day. When I fall asleep, AirPods usually pops out, book stops, or wherever the lecture stops, so you can pick it up from the next day as well.
Clever. And of course, you go to sleep at funny o'clock. Now, I'm up early, but John is up very early as a job. That's what PTs generally are. But you win the award for this one. You're up around 3.
This is getting close to my bedtime, so can we speed things up?
So you go to bed around what, 8?
8 o'clock. Phone goes off at 8, and I'm usually asleep by 8:30.
Okay, and then so you use the AirPods to help you get to sleep and kind of just calm your mind down. Just
one AirPod in. There's no wires, nothing. So it's AirPod falls out and
I like it.
Yeah, and if people don't like reading, that's a really good way to get them to take to a point a tech-free bedroom in terms of screens, that you're closing your eyes, you're listening, and then you just fall asleep to it.
It works for me.
Good,
So.
yeah, great. And next?
Okay, for the runner out there, these new sleek running belts. Have you seen them where they're like a tiny fitting one, you can slide your phone, car keys around.
They are epic.
Yeah.
I got one I actually bought two in Amsterdam about whenever I was there a couple of weeks ago doing the marathon. I'd never seen them before.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
They are pretty cool. So again, it's the less distractions when running. If there's a phone bouncing around in your pocket, they're pretty cool as well.
Yeah, and to describe them to you guys, they're very simple. They're like a tight lycra belt that you step into and you shimmy it up past your shorts. It's around your waistline, and they have slits in them every 3 or 4 inches. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 slits in them, and you can put keys, phones, and the beauty of the lycra is it's tight, so the fact nothing bounces or wobbles or jiggles or makes noise. And that always annoys me when I run if I've a set of keys and they're kind of, there is, I know. Yeah. But it is a really, really handy accessory for anyone in your life who runs. You can get them online. I don't think they're available in Ireland just yet.
Not as available.
But you can get them online. You'll find them on, presumably, Amazon. But they are really, really impressive, and they're really comfortable to run with. So, yeah, great suggestion. John, back to you.
So, again, everything's about recovery. Coming into cooking, so a lot of us are struggling to prep our own meals. A lot of people, claim that they're not able to prep simple little, whether it's just a little chili or whether it's a little turkey dish, whatever it is. So cooking course can be a really nice thing to do. It can be nice to do that with somebody, a loved one or a parent or something else like that. There's lots of different cooking courses around the place, and I'm not going to try and recommend one because I'm actually not sure where the best place to go at the moment is. Yeah. But a cooking course is a fantastic way to learn a little bit, and if you invest in that, it's something that should last a lifetime. It's like looking after your food hygiene, i.e. prepping your food, making sure it's cleanly prepared, minimum additives, even preparing food with a family member, I think is something that we're missing as a society, globally even, and learning how to cook and share, breaking bread together and prepping food is a really nice thing to do for someone. If you struggle with that, then there are a number of companies that do meal prep. I've been working with the guys from Parallel Nutrition, just giving them a shout out because they are really genuinely really good. They've been very flexible working with them, and their meals are delicious. They deliver into the gym twice a week, but they can deliver to specific locations.
Yeah, so if you're too busy work-wise, have a look at some of the companies who do delivery meals and see what meals work for you, work best for you.
Exactly, and most of those companies will have vouchers that you can buy for somebody, and it is a good investment. It's something that your nutrition is essentially going to drive your training a lot more, and sometimes just being aware of that for a couple of weeks where your food is dialed in, the pump that someone gets from that was enough for them to start kicking it off themselves.
Cool, great. Folks, you're listening to the Real Health Podcast in association with Leia Healthcare with me, Carl Henry. It's our Christmas wish list episode. We have 20 recommendations from John and Paul in studio, and we're working our way through them. Take loads of notes, have a look. You can treat someone, you can treat yourself. It doesn't really matter. Once you're buying some of these healthy products, we know that they're going to improve your life and improve your health, and that's what today's episode is all about. Paul, coming back to you. Where are we at?
Back to my purchase of the year.
Okay.
The massage gun.
Oh yeah, I've seen
Have
these.
you used them?
I haven't used one yet.
I was quite skeptical at the start when you see all these ads popping up all over Instagram, but they are legit. I think since investing in it, 6, maybe 7 of our clients within the gym have gone out and purchased their own ones for at-home use as well. Yeah.
And what do you find? So give us the benefits of it.
So tiny little niggles, things that you can't, that foam rollers don't really get to. It can save you trips to run into a deep tissue massage all the time as well. So any tightness in calves, chest, back, whatever it may be, if you're lucky enough to have someone to do it for you, even better again.
Always.
But you can use them pretty much.
And they're basically like I suppose to describe them, folks, if you haven't seen them, they look a bit like a drill with
numerous different
attachments.
Numerous attachments. And they massage they massage your quads, your calves, or whatever, and you can set the speed and the tempo and the effort level up, presumably.
Highly recommend them.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
You have one?
I do. I just got one, and I use them. I saw them in 2014 for the first time. I was in the States. I was like, these will never catch on. Tried it out, and I was like, oh, it hurts. I don't think it'll catch on. And then I only recently purchased one. They are fantastic. Really, really good.
And what kind of price are we talking?
They vary so much. If you look around, you get anything from 87 to, I've seen them in the RDS of recent of 300, but there's absolutely no need to spend that much. You like anything from 100 to 197, I think.
I got one for 180 during the week.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Amazon is the best place.
And of course, it's recovery, so it's injury prevention, it's recovery after session. It's really worth investing in the long term because it'll save you money over the course of a period of time.
Yeah.
Great. And Paul, what else?
Sticking with the whole massage side of things, then as well as deep tissue massage vouchers.
Oh, yeah.
I know
Always.
vouchers is the easy way out of things.
Yeah.
But if somebody has their go-to guy or go-to girl that they use for deep tissues, go to them, get their vouchers as well.
Because it's something people probably don't do enough is get a really good deep tissue massage. And I know myself, if we go away for a weekend or whatever, I don't like a light massage. I think it needs to be, for me, I need to be not necessarily screaming, but thereabouts.
Tapping
It needs to
out.
be hard, just to kind of lead to get the body to recover and to get the benefit from it. So, deep tissue massage, everyone should get one of those every couple of months, unquestioned. And as a voucher, it's a really good present to get for people.
Yeah.
John?
So just on the massage guns, they are fantastic. A cheaper version, because the massage guns can be dear. If you go to Halfords, you can get a car polisher. They are absolutely fantastic. They're about €35. I'm not sponsored by Halfords. They're about 35 quid.
car
And it
polisher.
just buffers up. You just do this.
For shining
I know I'm on a
relax.
podcast, no one can see. Well, it's a lighter level than the massage gun, but it definitely helps wind down your central nervous system.
Okay.
If you get on the edge
Improve
of
your
it, put a bit of
circulation.
pressure.
It has,
Everything.
of course it does, yeah.
Yeah.
Promise it'll make a
Shiny
difference. A lot of our clients come in just to get polished once a week. So then for the triathlete in your life, a bike fit is something that I think is worth investing in.
Great.
I thought I was cycling properly until I went to Wheelworks. I know you talked very
Rob,
highly about
yeah.
Rob, and Rob fitted me out on the bike and made such a difference to how I produce power, to how my neck and shoulders felt. I'm pretty rigid on a bike, so getting the bike to work for your body shape, not versus how an elite triathlete looks on a bike. I think that's very smart to do. For swimming, a one-to-one swimming session is takes you forward leaps and bounds. Swimming is so technique driven that spending some time working on the little cues, having someone correct every little move like that is really, really good. I'm sure you'd have great recommendations for swim coaches.
Yeah, I think it's the one-to-one thing because everyone is different.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, you'll have coaches all around the country. Just buy the voucher without it, and anyone who swims will benefit so much from a coach in terms of technique, how they move in the pool, the drills, all of that. It's a great recommendation.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And then finally, for someone who perhaps was at one stage an athlete, a runner or a triathlete or anything else like that, a race entry can be a really good present to sort of spur them on again, because we all want to think we're athletes, and having a competition or having an event like that and maybe sign up and do it with them even might be an option. But entry to the Dublin Marathon or to a small triathlon, or I think there's triathlon and triathlon. They're two nice simple ones to start out with. It can be a really nice little gift for someone, even though they might hate you at the time. It'll spur them on for their couch to 5K or whatever it is.
Or if it's a particularly big present, what you can do there is you can book a weekend away in a city where the event is on, and book a week. When we do that all the time, we travel around a good bit doing races in European cities that we haven't been to before. You spend 2 or 3 nights over there. You do the race on one of the days. You get to see the city. You get a weekend away. It's a win-win all round for everybody, and it's a lovely way to do it.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Good. Paul.
All right, here's my strange one.
Yeah.
Yoga toes.
Yoga toes.
You know what they are?
Yeah, I love them.
Go on. Okay. Explain.
I learned this a long time ago on a course. We don't give our feet enough love, so we spend most of our time squished into a pair of shoes. Especially ladies are guilty of trying to squeeze their feet into the tiniest of shoes, and so yoga toes. All right. What I used to use before these was the toe separators. The lady, oh, you know them, yeah?
Yeah.
That they use for painting their toes.
Yeah.
I have a
I've
pair
seen
as
them.
You have them? Thanks. So I'm not alone. That's what I used to use before, but now they've brought out a product called Yoga Toe. So it's basically separators that go between your toes, and it basically just opens them back up and brings them back into alignment where they should be. A lot of injuries can start with the feet as well, so it's important to give them some love as well. So yeah, they're strange but good.
I have a precursor version of those because I've got really dodgy feet. I hate my feet. I hate my toes even more because they overlap and everything. Sorry, I've now discussed it all our viewers and all our listeners and put you off your lunch. So they epic, really funky. I haven't seen the yoga toes before. I'm going to check them out. But the idea of it is really good.
Yeah, like even 5-10 minutes in these, you can really start to feel it becomes uncomfortable after that. So
okay, and if people do buy them, presumably it's exactly that you ease into it. You might do 5
Correct.
minutes, 10 minutes, and maybe build it up as opposed to
just
doing like an
before
hour
bedtime,
a day.
yeah, just put them on and.
Great, yeah, good one. And what's next?
All right, standard ones. It's the trackers like Fitbits, Apple Watches as well.
Okay.
The big thing I like about them, I suppose, is the step counter as well, like that. Things that can make it a bit competitive, where they can work with their colleagues in work, family. They can all see it. I know Fitbit do that side of things. Apple not so much as of yet. Okay. But it's
well, what gets measured gets done.
what gets measured.
Yeah, that's the big thing, and without a doubt. I know I reached out to Paul a couple of months ago when I was looking for a little bit of help with my own food, and I think that was one of the things he said to me on the phone when I rang him. He's like, "What gets measured gets done." I was like, "No, I know that. I tell people that." But he's in terms of the step counters, you're bang on. The key thing there is intensity. That's the important thing there. That they're intensive steps, and some of the new tech are beginning to measure that active calories and active steps, as opposed to just strolling around the office. That does nothing for you whatsoever, bar ramp your numbers up. But, you know. And John, back to you for your final two. What else we got?
So a lot of us are, talking about again our hard training stuff and races, and I think in some cases we need our way to switch off. So something completely alternative to fitness.
Go for it.
I.e., I bought myself a saxophone to try and give myself a hobby.
Yeah.
The neighbours wouldn't be saying that. Piano lessons, saxophone, art classes.
A pastime.
A hobby that doesn't involve counting steps, obsessing over something, something that creates mindfulness and something that kind of calms you down and something that gives you a bit of balance and forces you to relax a little bit.
Good one. I like that. I took up the guitar, but when I burnt out the last time I burnt out was 4 years or 5 years ago. I took up the guitar and it was my thing, and it became a really crucial part of my life because it was something that was nothing to do with fitness whatsoever, and it was half an hour of my time where I focused on a chord or whatever, and it's hugely important. It's really hugely important
because we just see it. I'm sure Paul can relate. There's a bigger divide in the population now. Some people are not active and are sedentary and overweight, etc., and some people are hyperactive, doing far too much, and need to wind down a little bit and work on their recovery. So I think it's important. And then the balance in the middle of all of that would be a week-long holiday somewhere. I think you've been to Club de Santa, haven't you? Or like any sort of these wellness retreats or fitness retreats can be such a nice way to eat clean. You feel like you're living like a proper athlete. You're eating clean. You're training a couple of times a day, but you're going for good massage. You're surrounded by other great athletes, and it can be a really, really nice way to.
Yeah, and it's a great motivational thing as well because you're in this bubble of healthy people, and everyone rubs off on each other, and there's a really good vibe within the place.
And I always get like 12 solid weeks training after I go away for one good week, whether it's in Club de Santa or somewhere separate. I always get a good run of training after it. It's like it just spurs me on, kicks me off with a good balanced piece of training after it.
Great, fantastic. Paul, final two.
The big present is the fitness retreats that you see knocking around. Yeah, all right, you robbed me.
No, and it's great to see people cross over because we work in the industry. It's great. We see the benefits from our clients who do these type of retreats, and then we've done them ourselves.
Yeah, I was lucky enough at the start of this year to go to Bali and it was more of a business one, but there's a fitness element to it as well. Yeah. And it was just incredible. Your training's looked after, then your food is looked after, so that it's mindless really. So it's
a great time to focus on yourself. Yeah. And because no matter what you do work wise or even at home, you focus on everybody else and you come last. And sometimes it's really important to put yourself first for a couple of days, for a weekend or for a week, and really get your head together in terms of goals, targets. You can put a really good plan together because you step out of your life for a week to sort it all out. And the power of that can last 12 weeks and beyond. So it's a great one. And final one?
My last one, it's the gift of time. So,
nice. I like it.
So if you know someone that's struggling to get to the gym, you could be their accountability buddy. So you can be their person to bring them to the gym. Also in relationships as well, to understand that both of you actually need to get to the gym as well. Or if you know any single parents that you'd step in and offer some babysitting that they can get to the gym. It really is priceless.
Clever. And if you're creative, you can funk that up. Like you could create little vouchers with your picture of you want it or whatever, and give to the person. They've got they've
good.
5 little vouchers to use with your face on it or something like that. Very clever. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. I just seen an ad the other day that inspired that. So
good. Yeah, it's really good. John, what is Santa bringing you for Christmas? Do you know? You have an exciting year next year.
He's bringing me nothing because I have to pay for a wedding next year.
There we go. Yeah.
He's already brought me all the gifts I need in. Adrian, there you go.
There we go. And when's the wedding?
Next June.
Amazing.
In Corfu, it will be a training holiday.
Oh yeah. Oh, you can listen. You can have a little bit of time off.
Yes.
That's for sure. I know you, and I've known you for a very long time. If people want to find out more about you, where can they go in terms of websites and social media and all that?
So my business is Number 17 Personal Training. My name's John Belton, and I also own a small business called Flow State. I'll give it a quick little pitch.
I have one of your mats. They're amazing. Yeah.
So Flow State is essentially the link between myself and one of my best friends, Al. He's also known as a Mazer. He's a street artist. Adrian actually came up with the concept of linking our two worlds of art and movement together, and created a flow state mat, which is Al's amazing art on a yoga mat that can be used. It's a very functional, rugged yoga mat. It can be machine washed, but when it's hung in your house, it is a piece of art. So it takes, usually we roll up our yoga mat and chuck it in behind the couch, but it's a beautiful piece of art that sometimes when we see it hanging there reminds us we should be stretching more. But, it just fills a kind of a void there for some people who can't afford to buy a big expensive art piece. And it's pretty beautiful. So that's our most exciting little project at the moment. So
and that's flowstate.ie?
Flowstate.ie, and they're available online and in BTs as well.
Fantastic. And Number 17 Personal Training, Twitter and Instagram?
Twitter and Instagram is just Twitter's at Number 17 PT, and Instagram is Number 17 Personal Training.
Okay, fantastic. Paul, same question to you. How can people find out more about you?
So we're in Sandymount. The easiest way to find us is www.brp.ie. Instagram, we do a lot of stuff on there as well. So it's just BodyRock Performance. Or else you can find me at the BodyRock Coach as well. And that's, we're not so active on Twitter at the moment.
Your Instagram is epic. His Instagram is really, really good. So
at 3 in the morning.
Exactly. Because I feel great getting up at 4:30, leaving my house, and he's in the gym already working out by that stage, and then John's on his way to work. Like we check out each other's profiles all the time. Folks, guys, thank you so much for coming into the studio to chat to us. We're going to finally get that coffee and that lunch sorted at some stage, but this is business today. Last year, folks, this was a massive episode when we did it. We were surprised just how many people tuned in to listen. Health and fitness is huge. Getting healthy Christmas presents and recommendations from people in the industry is a really handy way to see what you can get for yourself, maybe for your partner, or drop a little hint for someone in your life that you'd like it. Folks, I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Really simple, effective and brilliant presents for yourself or for those in your lives. As ever, you know where we are. It's at Carl Henry PT on Twitter and on Instagram, and realhealth@independent.ie is our email. As always, don't forget to rate and review, and if you know someone who would like to listen, why not send the link and share the podcast too. We'll see you next week. Slán go fóill.
Leia Healthcare. It's good to live. Proud sponsor of the Real Health podcast with Carl Henry.